Once upon a time, there was a class where nobody can come out alive. However, it was compulsory for every student to take the class. It was world religion.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking.
Good morning, Mr. Eddie.
Good morning. Let me take attendance. Who is not here, please raise up your hand. Good. All present. I have a research group assignment for you. Form a group of 4. The topic is Mormonism. It weighs 50% of total coursework. Due tomorrow.
What?
Good. That's all for today. Dismiss. How is your group assignment?
Good.
First of all, I'll introduce the historical background of Mormonism. According to the Book of Mormon, Lehi, a wealthy Hebrew prophet, migrated with his family from Middle East to America. Upon Lehi's death, his two sons Nephi and Laman began to fight with each other, which divided them into two tribes, the Nephites and the Lamanites. The name Mormon came from an actual Nephite prophet who has a son named Moroni. Mormonism started when Joseph Smith Jr. was born on December 23, 1805 in Sharon, Vermont. When Joseph Smith Jr. turned 14, he became increasingly concerned about the local Christians with denomination differences. He was uncertain on the right church to follow. He went into the woods to pray and witnessed an image of the God, the Father, and Jesus Christ appeared to him, forgave his sins, and warned Smith not to join any of the denomination churches. This event is called as the First Vision. 3 years later, Joseph Smith was chosen to translate the Book of Mormon. Smith claimed that John the Baptist appeared to him and instructed him to attain the divine work. This event preceded the restoration of the true church. Mormonism began to grow after the Book of Mormon is published. Nevertheless, Smith and the others were persecuted because Mormonism seems different from Christianity, such as the plurality of gods and polygamy. Smith and his brother ended up in a jail. Later, a mob happened in the jail and took Smith and Hiram's lives. The church then was divided into two groups after the shooting. The first group is led by Smith's widow and are known as the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The second group was led by Brigham Young, which founded Salt Lake City.
In short, Mormonism was started by Joseph Smith because he got a message from God to avoid him from joining any denomination's churches. Unfortunately, he was persecuted and killed later, and his wife continued his work. Okay, so now, what makes Mormonism a religion, and how is it different from Christianity?
Mormonism has about 12 million followers. It was formed around the mid-19th century in Northeast United States. One of the largest Mormon religious body is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as LDS. In the past, Mormonism was looked upon as a controversial religion basically because it was supported or condoned polygamy marriages. Nowadays, it's also known that the LSC Church has changed its view on polygamous marriages and is no longer misunderstood or forced on its followers. Mormons believe that God, the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Ghost are three separate individual beings who are looked upon as the Godhead, where the Father and Jesus Christ have physical bodies. This means the good Mormons would live forever in heaven with God and their families, whereas good non-Mormons are rewarded but not in the presence of God. For those who reject the Godhead, even after instructions, will go to hell. In fact, Mormonism doesn't have official use of a symbol where Christianity has a cross. Interestingly, the Mormons do use the Christian Bible for religious instructions even though they have their own religious text such as Book of Mormon, Doctrine, Covenants, and the pearl of great price. However, the Book of Mormon is considered as the holy book.
Some unique practices engaged by Mormons in their daily lives include total refraining from the consumption of alcohol, tobacco, and drinks such as coffee and tea. In addition, they baptize for the dead and believe in eternal marriages. As a matter of fact, they also have secret handshakes to shake hands with God once they reach heaven. In terms of religious attire, they wear temple garments under their daily clothes to display their commitment to God. Moreover, they believe Jesus was a spirit in heaven. Therefore, for Jesus to be born in earth, God the Father had to have sexual union with Mary. They also believe what a prophet says can be revised. Prophecy is given or called by God Himself, and those who are given this prophecy are the prophets, and they have the authority to preach the gospel and administer the ordinances. However, prophets could be wrong sometimes, since he is a man and not God Himself. Thus, in Mormonism, the newer prophets can override the older prophets' sayings. Lastly, Mormon men or boys are strongly encouraged to do missionary work by the time they turn 19.
Quite good. Actually, Mormons wear garments to show their inner commitments to God, and they ought to be modest in their dressing, as they are not supposed to reveal those undergarments to the outside world.
Sir, let me tell you about the recent development on Mormonism.
Sure, go ahead.
In the past, Joseph Smith was believed to accept homosexual relationship. In contrast, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints nowadays strongly opposed to equal rights for gays and lesbians. Their current beliefs are similar to that of most other conservative Christian churches. They believe all homosexual activities is immoral and sinful, irrespective to love, commitment, and sexual orientation of partners in a same-sex relationship. However, it can be cured through reparative therapy, repentance, and prayer.
So they disagree with homosexuality in general?
Yes. Besides, in the early age, Mormons in the church used to speak in tongues, which has instead been replaced later by a more mundane interpretation. Additionally, modern prophets backpedal that God is not a man. He was divine by birth and he had passed the teachings to the Mormons instead of the prophets.
Alright, let's just do a quick review. Mormonism was started by Joseph Smith in mid-19th century in northeast United States. His works were continued by his wife after he was persecuted. He started this religion because he was instructed not to join any of the denominational churches by the vision of God. Mormonism seems so much different from Christianity, such as the plurality of gods and polygamy. It has a total of 12 million followers around the world, and its capital is called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's all for today. We will have a quiz on this topic tomorrow.
What?
At first, I have no idea what Mormonism is all about, but while completing this assignment, I found that Mormonism is a part of Christianity that was founded by Joseph Smith Jr. that were very concerned about the local Christian with denomination differences and very unsure on the right church to follow. Hence, I guess learning about Mormonism makes me realize that there are so many other religions in the world that I haven't familiar with and probably haven't heard about it at all.
From this group project, I learned a lot about Mormonism. I learned that Mormons are staunch Christians and they believe in approaching God through prayer. They believe that we can solve many problems if we believe in Jesus Christ, such as we can heal our broken hearts and we can solve many other problems in life. They also believe that if we believe in Jesus Christ, we all have second chances, and from guilt, and from the guilty feeling that we have, from guilt it becomes peace, and from despair it becomes hope, and from regret it becomes relief. Thank you.
Before this, I'd only heard on Mormonism only once in my entire lifetime so far, but now having done this research and all, and I've got a better understanding on this religion, and after all this research, I really do Mormonism is a really nice religion, and I in fact agree with some of their beliefs, and I in fact also personally believe that their stories also have a deeper and spiritual meaning, but for the sake of human simplicity they've made it into stories, but I really think there's a deeper meaning to it, and overall it's a really nice religion, and I learned a lot, and this was a really fun assignment as well. Thank you.
Before the group assignment, I don't really know much about Mormonism. But after we have done everything about the group project, I know that Mormonism is not a very old religion, but instead this one is a very recent religion which is found about in around 19th century, and then the founder is Joseph Smith. And then this one is a quite common religion in some places. There are around 12 million followers around the world.
Well, before the assignment, I had no clue what Mormonism was all about. But throughout the assignment, I learned a lot of things about Mormonism. First of all, I got to know that they are part of Christianity, as they also believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Other than that, I also learned a lot of good values. For example, I learned that they believe that death is not the end of life. So what I learned from that is that we should have a purpose in our life, and we should always try to achieve that purpose. That's all from me. Bye.